And as families and communities grieve the 21 lives lost during that Texas school shooting, teachers became the first line of defense, 2 of them dying in that massacre. This attack coming at a time, too, where gun violence continues to rise in the U.S. The Gun Violence Archive even reporting at least 680 children have been killed and 1,700 others injured so far this year. Teachers are concerned about the safety of their school halls, demanding that more be done. Zeph Capo, the president of the Texas American Federation of Teachers, is one of them. He joins me now. Zeph, tell me what you're hearing from fellow teachers in Texas.
They're angry and they're scared. They feel like they've been let down by their state government that continues to allow these types of practices, that continues to allow this unfettered access to weapons that frankly are engineered to take human life. They're especially upset right now that that there was even any consideration of blame of the teachers that gave their lives for students, you know, and that should be even something that is thought about right now was shameful. And we're reeling from this, and we need our state to do better. We need people to do better for our kids and our communities.
So what type of resources are available, Zeph, to teachers and substitutes who are having a difficult time right now just processing what took place at Robb Elementary?
Yeah. So I think the one bright spots that we're seeing is communities are pulling together. We've had people coming out to share food and provide funding to support families and what have you. But we know that there are going to be long-term implications. One of the things that our organization is doing is for all of our members, we're actually providing them free trauma counseling. They're able to get that counseling for events like this as well too, online for both teachers and parents. At sharemylesson.com, we're able to provide guidance and support for how do you talk to kids in schools across the country about these types of issues, because every parent and every kid thinks this could be them right now. And this is a conversation that needs to be had so that everyone continues to, you know, to know that we're working to make things better. There are additional resources I think that people can find from the community. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration has great resources for trauma-informed practice and responding. And surprisingly, actually, the Department of Veterans has good resources for dealing with the after effects of mass violence that I would recommend viewers to please take a look at if they feel like they're in need or anyone in their community is.
Zeph, as you know, again, this is raising a lot of debate on Capitol Hill. You've got lawmakers discussing stricter gun laws. There's many for it, many against it. What do you guys want to see from lawmakers right now?
You know, there's probably experts that will be better at providing the policy guidance on this, but just as a teacher, as somebody who's looking at and have dealt with teenagers for decades of my life now, you know, you have to have an actual license at 16 years of age to drive a car. We should make sure that anybody buying a gun that can do this type of damage to a human life has to be licensed in some way. We have to be keeping up with this. We also have to provide insurance. If you harm somebody with that car, you're required to have insurance to make those families whole. And we shouldn't have to depend on donations. We shouldn't have to have this at all. But if something happens with that gun, you should be required to insure it. And we certainly do not believe that anyone 3 days after their 18th birthday should be able to access a weapon like an AR-15. At minimum, they should be required to have a mentor, someone with more experience in handling these types of weapons, work with them. They should have proper training in their use and safety. And frankly, part of that training should include some type of evaluation to determine whether that individual is capable of actually having that type of responsibility.
Well, there's a lot of people around the country right now that agree with exactly what you're saying. You know, there's lawmakers, too, that argue that arming teachers with guns is a solution to combat mass shootings. Is this something that you agree with or your organization has even talked about? What did teachers tell you about this?
We absolutely fundamentally are against the arming of teachers. We have heard this. It has resounded with our members time and time again. Every time this comes up, that is the first thing we hear. After the shock is over, the next question is, are they going to make us add police officer to our already extended duties as teachers? I can't. They don't provide me school supplies to be able to get through the year, crayons, pencils, paper. How am I expected to believe that they're going to provide the resources for the training of using a weapon and the weapon itself? If it wasn't so ghastly to think about, most teachers would think it was the biggest joke that any politician could come up with, to think that you're going to arm teachers on these campuses. It's something that we're fundamentally and absolutely against.
And when you think of everything that's happened recently, just taking in all the events, right? You've got this shooting in Uvalde. You have the controversy and debates over critical race theory. You've got the pandemic. We're still dealing with COVID, and you've got virtual learning issues that so many kids are paying for the price for already. This is, in no doubt, impacting teachers across the country. And I'm curious how it's impacting staff retention.
Well, 6 months back in December, we actually surveyed our members in Texas, and 66% of them had told us at that time that they were considering leaving the profession because of everything that was going on and the responsibilities. I can only imagine what they're thinking now after this type of an event. We've got to have real solutions. We have to have actions. No more talk, no more thoughts, no more prayers. If we want to not only keep kids and communities safe, but actually, ensure confidence in our educators so that they will actually stay in the classroom. They have choices. They have other opportunities right now in this job market. And people flippantly, too often say, well, go find another job if you don't like it, because they speak out about their conditions. Well, unfortunately for our kids, they are, because that's what they've been driven to by society. They love the children that they teach. That's what they want to do, is teach. They don't want to be police officers. They don't want to be test monitors. They don't want to have themselves and their children at risk in their classrooms. We can do a much better job of making the working and learning conditions for our kids and our teachers much better if we start working together.
Well, I agree with that. I grew up surrounded by a family of teachers, and you just can't pay them enough and do enough. They deserve so much more. Zeph, appreciate your time today. Really do.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.